How can you flatten terrain in Roblox Studio? Imagine building a smooth, level surface for your Roblox game that players can walk on easily. If you want to create flat roads, open fields, or even building foundations, flattening terrain is the way to go. In Roblox Studio, there are several methods to make terrain even and level. The most straightforward way is using the Terrain Editor's Flatten tool. First, open the Terrain Editor tab. Then select the Flatten tool from the options. This tool works by setting a visual plane that your terrain will conform to. When you click and drag over an area, it will raise or lower terrain to match that plane. You can customize the brush shape to be a sphere, box, or cylinder, depending on what shape you want. Adjust the brush size from 1 to 64 studs to cover more or less area. The brush height controls how much terrain is affected, especially when using box or cylinder shapes. The strength setting determines how forcefully the terrain adjusts. You can choose to only erode terrain, which lowers it, or grow terrain, which raises it. Or you can flatten both ways to make everything level. You also have the option to set the pivot point of the brush to the bottom, center, or top, which affects how the terrain moves. Snapping is another feature that helps align terrain to the voxel grid, making it more precise. This method is perfect for small to medium areas, giving you control over the shape and size of the flattened space. For larger areas, you might want to use the Replace tool. Select the Replace tool in the Terrain Editor. Set the brush shape to box and adjust the size to cover your entire area. Change the material to air to remove all terrain within that box. Once the area is cleared, fill it with a flat material using the Add or Replace tool again. This approach is good for completely clearing and rebuilding flat sections. You can also use community plugins like Part to Terrain. Create a flat part in the workspace, choose your terrain material, and use the plugin to convert that part into terrain. This method is quick and helps create perfectly flat surfaces. When flattening large areas, use smaller brush sizes with the Flatten tool to avoid lag and keep your game running smoothly. After flattening, you can add details with other terrain tools like Erode or Grow to make your terrain look more natural. Keep in mind that terrain might not perfectly align with non-voxel heights due to voxel grid limitations, so manual adjustments with sculpt tools might be needed. If you're working near parts or water, you can adjust the Flatten tool settings to ignore these areas. To sum it up, the main way to flatten terrain in Roblox Studio is using the Flatten tool in the Terrain Editor, which levels terrain to a chosen plane with adjustable settings. For larger or more precise flat areas, the Replace tool or community plugins like Part to Terrain are very useful. Combining these methods allows both new and experienced creators to build flat, smooth surfaces easily for their Roblox projects.